Hello and welcome, I am Henrik from Madverse TV and I want to show you a guide about the evil house of Harkonnen. Harkonnen has some pretty nice abilities like oppression, maybe the best ability in that game, to make a boost for your villages. You have corruption on the land threat resolutions, which will help you to get the resolutions you want to have or make other players don't get their resolutions. Although you start with minus 10% village production with an extra ability for getting plus 5% for each militia in that village, you might neglect that pretty fast by 2 militia and even get more production if you put more militia in. At 5k hegemony, you can sacrifice agents to reduce the missions cost and preparation time. Also, the operations don't make other players take your agents captured. And if you're killing military units, you get a 5% chance to receive a brainwashed agent. They are not that good as normal agents, they get a malus, but they are pretty nice to sacrifice. At 10k hegemony, there's a chance that you not consume an operation when used, and also you get one additional agent slot for each non-factional field. Let's go to the Councilors. We have, first of all, the Rabban, and he has the Heavy Hand. This will give you +1 militia slot in your villages, and that will even boost your production more with that trait of the Harkonnen. And you get minus 20% militia power, what is not that bad, because you have one extra militia unit, and that is kind of equal. Then we have Laki Nefud, and he had the ability Cannon Fodder. And this is great for everyone who's playing military-wise. You get 50% refunded from the cost of your military units when they are dying. And yeah, your units have minus 5% health, but that is neglectable. This is just awesome for throwing in your units and don't care about them dying. Then we have Feyd Router Harkonnen, and he is great if you're going for mass operations or even the assassination. You get, while oppressing at least one village, plus 10% influence production and plus 100% agent recruitment speed. Also you gain 10 influence upon killing a rebel. Last but not least, we have Peter de Vries, and he will help your ornithopters and your stealth probes to get stealthed. And this is great for sending out your stealth probes for point of interest all over the map. And as an extra, he has 10% chance to convert captured agents in your counterintelligence every day. This is not that great, since I would prefer to have enemy agents captured as long as possible, so they won't be able to produce another one if they're already on maximum agents. Also, your ornithopters and stealth probes generate intel in enemy territory, so you can get a little boost by intel if you park them there. So let's get a deeper look on the corruption ability. Before the resolutions will be submitted, there is a window you can put your corruption on a resolution, but only on single target resolutions like this here. You can't put it on charter, and you can't put it on resolutions affecting all factions. The corruption will cost you 30 intel and will make the resolution less attractive for other players. They will lose 30 land threat if they are voted for that. This also causes on you, unless you have Harkonnen Legacy. With Harkonnen Legacy, you can ignore corruption negative effects. So, if you want to have a specific resolution, just put corruption on it, and if you have Harkonnen Legacy, still vote on that for you, but you can also use that aggressive by putting that corruption on any other resolution you don't want to have, and then you vote for the player you want to have losing a land threat. Of course, Fremen has no land threat standing, so Fremen won't care at all, and smugglers only get at 5k hegemony land threat standing, so before that they won't care about that either. Let's get to the next ability, the oppression. And with the oppression you can boost the village resource production by 200%. And the buildings are constructed 200% faster. That will cost you 20 manpower. And as you can see, we have 85 spice production, 29 water, etc. If I click on that, I get a huge boost for that. Important to know is that all the bonus are already counted in, the extra production by the militia for Harkonnen, and the spice silo is also already in that count, so they will also get boosted by the 200%. You can use it to construct buildings faster. That is especially important if you take an enemy outpost and you want to build an airport fast so you can reinforce your units. Then you can build an airport and just oppress the village to get that airport faster. And as you can see, this is one spice territory, we have another here, let's oppress that. We have one other here, let's oppress that. And we are on 688, 1.5k now. So this oppression will take 3 days. And after that 3 days, it will have another status. It will be oppressed. And that will make that your production is 20% less, and also the building construction speed is 20% less. This will be for 10 days, and it will stack. So if you oppress that village again, that we could do if we have 20 manpower, there we have it. So you can oppress it while it is oppressed, but it's not that strong anymore. So because the 20% minus are already counted in. And if this is done, the oppression, it will also stack on that oppressed count. So you can have several oppressed counts, and every oppression will be weaker than the oppression before. So it might be a good idea to let it get down again and then oppress again later. Or you don't care about it at all and you oppress, and wait for a rebellion, because if there's a rebellion and you smash the rebellion down, all that oppressed counts will be 0 again. I would also recommend to have a recruitment office in every village you want to oppress to get back your manpower you spend. And this is, by the way, our first spice field. And there I started with a recruitment office, gone to Plescrete factory, and then build the refinery instead of building the refinery first. Put in every militia, and when the refinery is done and the harvester is at place, you click the oppression button, and you will get enough spice to pay the first taxes. So, and your eco will even be faster. So this is a way you can go as Harkonnen. With our third important ability, I also want to talk about our operations. At 5k hegemony, we can sacrifice our agents, and I would recommend that doing for every big operation you want to do. Everything you have to do is to pull one of your agents to that slot and then click on it. This operations is cheaper than, there are no complications. The loading balcony is even faster, and your agents can't be captured if you use that operation. Other important operations are gear sabotage and supply drop, like for every faction. Harkonnen has a special sleeper agent. They are pretty great in every big battle, giving a 5% chance to convert enemy and own units in sleeper agents when dying. And of course, the atomics. Harkonnen is one of the only factions that is really capable of doing mass nukes, since you can build the interrogation center and every unit you kill give you extra intel. So if you hit with your nuke an enemy whole army, we don't have something like that here, you can get all or most of your intel back. So problem is, of a nuke, you lose most of your lands while standing. In our case, we lost everything. So we get a huge penalty for the low pariah standing. And that means that our eco is suffering a lot. And also every 10 days, a lance red force is attacking our main base. And we need to defend it. Otherwise, they will slowly destroy our main base. 3 harpies will be enough to defend versus that lance red units, but it's not bad to have more units there. Also, there's one option. Overlord might be great because he's good in defending. And there are still other nice operations like scavenger team. If you're pillaging a lot, you can put it on that village before you pillage that. It's not that important. It's more like transferring intel into Solari. You have the combat drugs that will push your army at the cost of your army's health. You have decoy thumper to lure a worm into that area, either to defend that area or to distract enemy armies. Defense sabotage is always great if you're attacking the enemy main base. And another very important Harkonnen operation is the toxic vapors that will be great if you use it on an enemy army before the conflict starts. Maybe the enemy army is even retreating because of that. And as you can see, we can already go for another nuke if we sacrifice one of our agents. Whoop, zack. Oh, and I almost forgot, if you're going for the assassination of any player, you always want to sacrifice your agents for that. It's faster, it's cheaper, there are no complications, they can't be captured, and that's the only way someone could block your assassination, by capturing too many agents. So just sacrifice them. And that is why Harkonnen is so powerful on assassination, because he is able to sacrifice agents and avoid the complications. I made a video about assassination rush for Harkonnen. Just check by and you will see how fast that works. So the tech tree might look very overwhelming, but it is indeed just very flexible. I put numbers on the developments I really recommend for you if you want to go for an all-around build. With this build, if you have all numbers, you have a stable eco, you have a decent military power, and you have the possibility for the assassination and good agent recruitment speed. Also, you can use your corruption even better. But of course, it is very changeable depending on your playstyle. For example, you can go just for full eco into military and go for a very strong military action. You can go decent eco and decent military for a military rush. You can go for decent eco into assassination for an assassination rush. I made a guide about that. And you can go for political stance for the embassy if you want to play with many treaties or you are in a 2v2. And all that numbers behind the ladder are nice to have, but they are not game-changing. As like water trade is pretty strong in eco, but it can also be dangerous if there is the water tax resolution. And yeah, it's nice to have a super agent recruitment speed, but it's not a must. And yeah, if you have that military tax, you have a really strong army and you don't need them This is for extra command points. The developments without any number or something like that are totally neglectable for the Harkonnen, in my opinion. So, we get into our main buildings. We have a 3-slot district for our economy buildings to get the 10% extra solari production. We have two 2-slot districts for our military bases, for the extra 1 power for our military units. We have a single slot district for extra research speed. Whatever type of research you want to go, put that building in there. And we have a 3-slot district for whatever we want to have else. I would recommend to start with a research center to get our research speed done. The Chome branch is pretty strong for the eco. And the 3rd building might be Harvester Works, or you could go for the recycling vats if you're going for water trade. The military buildings, the important ones, are command post for the extra command points and the extra power, and the recruitment center, especially for the 2 extra training slots and extra manpower you produce. And then you need barracks for customization of your military units, and the extra health and extra experience. Enhanced fortification is not that important unless you are in a defense modus, and yeah. Political important buildings are intelligence agency for the extra agent recruitment speed and 2 additional operation slots. Also, your agent produce more intel. And the administrative hall for more authority to expand and to get the hegemony win even faster. And there, a nice special is the interrogation center. You get intel by killing units and by pillaging villages. And also, if you capture some agents, that is not that important. But if you're playing with nukes, interrogation center is very, very important. Now it's time to talk about Harkonnen's military. Harkonnen has some pretty nice options, starting with a trooper who is decent strong and a tank that is quite okay. And it becomes stronger the less HP it has. We have the gunner for range and AoE damage and armor shredding. We have our main damage dealer, the executionist, which becomes stronger if units die in the battlefield. We have the stealth probe. If that dies, you boost your army on that area and can be pretty strong if the enemy kills them at the early beginning of the battle. We have our main tank, the Severus, and that guy is splitting into 3 unchained Severus, reaching 10% health. You can't use them, but they are pretty strong and make some severe damage. The most important unit is probably still the Harpy. This is a ship you can do AoE damage from nice range, and it makes severe damage on your enemy. There are even matches with a Harpy spam, especially in 2v2s. So this is one of the best units in that game at the moment. We have the Overlord. He's not worth its price at the moment, but Overlord can have his good parts. So maybe you are going for a siege on an enemy main building. He can work as a great meat shield. If you can micro him a lot, he can do a good defense work at home, especially with Fremen, who is sending maybe several units on different villages, and you can defend that with that. But all in all, you would rather have more Harpies than spending your guild favor for the Overlord. And mercenaries are always great. They are super expensive. The upkeep is super expensive. But if you really need fast an army because your army is down and the enemy is still down near gates, you might need to produce them. They are pretty strong and usable, but after a battle, if you don't need them anymore, don't forget to delete them and build just regular units because the upkeep cost will put your eco down. So I would really recommend to make a mixed up army, like 2 Cerberus maybe, 1-2 troopers, 2 till 4 harpies. You don't need gunners anymore if you have harpies. And fill off the rest with executioners and maybe 1 or 2 stealth probes. And this will be a very effective army. For the barracks and the customization, I would say they are all great as they are. You can go, if the enemy has much air, you can go for the anti-air for your units. If you want to need armor down pretty fast, you can go for the shredding extra chance. You can go for extra power if you have enough solari. The stealth probe could be made to a melee unit and with more health and used as a tank. And the Cerberus can also be more tanky or stronger. But as I said, they are all great as they are, but they can fulfill other missions if you customize them a little bit. So in the end, I want to talk about the win conditions Harkonnen could achieve. You have the domination, so your military is pretty decent, so Harkonnen is able to get the domination victory by military, but Harkonnen is even greater, getting the domination victory by killing his enemies by assassination. So you might want to go that path. Hegemony, Harkonnen is as great as every other faction in getting hegemony win. Political, this is not very easy to get the governor with a Harkonnen, but it is possible. And then we have the economic victory, and since Harkonnen can have a really great economy by oppression and by pillaging, you might go for the economy victory. And we are coming to the end of that video, and I want to say that there's so much more to say about Harkonnen, but I really want to make that video short. And if you have something really important I forgot, or do you have any ideas to even improve that specific faction, just let me know in the comments. I will be happy to read about it and answering. And yeah, otherwise, I wish you good luck and have fun in Dune Spice Wars. See you later.